Like we always do about this time. Perfect.
Morning guys, how are we? It's a Friday. The sun is out. It's a current 9 degrees, but the skies are blue for a change, and we do have some brilliant golden sunshine, nice and fresh. I'm just on my way in, nearly 8 o'clock, a little bit late this morning. I spent a lot of time chopping up that video and then started watching films last night, so running a little bit behind schedule, but whatever, I'm the boss. So today we've got to get the kind of Golf Mark 70 type stereo sorted in the Polo. Hello, Jesus Christ, that's bright. The old one had some kind of sort of software meltdown by the looks of it. Now I don't know whether that means it just failed, or the customer had tried at some point trying to do like an online update and bricked his own unit, because that can happen with, you know, corrupt software that people tend to put out on the internet. But anyway, we're fascia kitting it, we're putting a radio in it, Pioneer, so it's going to have DAB, Bluetooth, CarPlay, DVD, CD, all that stuff. We've got to get that one done first. Then I've got a Seat, I think it's an Ibiza, could be wrong, could be a Leon. It's having speakers changed in the car. Now this one's quite a difficult one because the window regulator, the bit that supports the glass, is actually part of the door card. So what you've got to do each time is lift the window, or drop the window down to a certain point to get access to the screws in the door, lift the window up manually, tape it to the top, take the door card out, do all the speakers, put the door card back in, drop the window into the regulator, bolt the door card back up. It's a real pain in the ass job. It's a dumb design, really stupid design for servicing. So a busy day, very busy day, but first coffee, and I will speak to you in a bit. All right everybody, how's it hanging? So we got our first one in, obviously first two should I say. That's here from yesterday, we're just waiting on the parts for that. And this is our Seat Leon, no, Ibiza. So that speaker's apparently already done. I've got to do the rears, that one, and this front one here. So we're going to start getting these door cards off, and what we've basically got to do is drop the window a little bit, undo all the bits in the middle, take this off, disconnect the lock, lift the door card up and out, and support the window at the same time, because this is part of the regulator that holds onto the glass, which is beautiful. So we're going to get the windows dropped first. Just give it a little bit of power, drop that one down, drop that one down. That should be enough. Right, let's get cracking. See what I mean? Pain in the bum. So we've got to get these speaker connectors onto here. Got the JVC and the new speaker, and then we've basically got to load the door back in, making sure that the window regs kind of sit in here. They've got to sit in 2 positions on the door card, one here, same as this one here, one here. Bolt the card back in, drop the window back into these little regulator sections here, and then all the locking. So yeah, it's not the easiest and nicest of jobs. This one's a bit of a pain in the backside, but we'll get there. We will get there. How we doing, everyone? God, it's busting my balls today. Right, so the Seat is done. Got all the speakers connected up to the head unit. We had to code it with the VAGCOM, so we turned on the rear speakers, so the fader is then activated on the head unit. That's all good, waiting to be collected. Then I've turned my attention to the Polo. So currently, DAB aerial's fitted, microphone's fitted, USB is fitted. I'm just doing a quick test with the kit. So this is basically a Pioneer SPDA 230, which we're going to have this fascia. Now, because all the car stuff runs through the factory head unit, obviously that's not possible when you change the head unit, but you get this little cool fascia which has buttons down the side of it. Now if I go into the menu, it then brings up the car's menu actually on the radio. Rather cool, right? Yeah, so then we can go up and down on the menus, or I can press back and completely get rid of it and it'll go back to the radio. And then steering controls, they're all working, but it means we still get integration with the Polo with an aftermarket stereo. So just got to get this in the dash, tidy up the wiring, put the car back together, customer will come and collect. Alex will have a sit down and maybe breathe for 5 minutes and then tidy up the mess. Ready for tonight. I'm working late again. Right, I'm earning my crust today, boys and girls. Let me just jump in it, quickly turn this down. La 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 la. So there we go. The Polo is finished. So we've got the little fascia with the controls there for the VW stuff. So if I press menu, obviously I can access the car's information, and if not, back to the normal radio. Very cool. Very, very cool. Do we have... Does it have parking sensors? No, it does not. Menu. Vehicle settings. Tyres, driver assistance, lights, mirrors and wipers, opening and closing. That's cool. Right, let's go menu. Back. Info adapter down. Okay. Screen size and position, preferences. That's cool. Car. Since start. Down. Down, down. That's cool. Wicked. Another one bites the dust. Time for a coffee. Here they are. Right, guys. A subscriber asked this one, so I'm going to cover it quickly. reversing cameras. Right, so what we've got here is a simple Connex 2 camera. Let's just get it out of the bag, because this is kind of like the most common one that you're going to see. It has the extension cable and said camera. Okay, so here is our reverse camera. All right, on from that we've got like this little sort of jumper lead which goes into a plastic connector. All right, so there's our reverse camera. Now this would get fitted, you know what I mean, like on the tailgate or a number plate recess, so it would sit kind of like that in the car. You can disconnect it from this point here, as in you can drill yourself a nice small hole and then you route this one through the car, and that goes inside the tailgate, so you're left with kind of no cable and your camera's basically going to sit like this. From there you'll get this multi-connection plug. It'll only go in one way, mind you, don't bend the pins inside because they're really tiny, quite fragile. There's usually an arrow on the two bits that kind of go together on the top, and this one's probably got one. And then we've got this lead here. So this type, some will go from this plastic plug straight into the end of the phono socket, some don't, right? So this one has two little loops here. Now one of these is for reversing the image, so as the camera's pointing backwards it'll either show something on the left side, or if you cut one of these loops it will show it on the right side, so it's kind of like a reverse image of how you should be seeing it. And the other one is for guidelines. The camera will have some lines put into it electronically. If you cut this loop it'll stop the guidelines working. Then we have a red and a black. What are these for? Well, these two, the red and the black, normally will go to reverse signal, as in reverse light. So your positive and your negative off your reverse light. The only times that this doesn't work is if you've got like an LED unit, or the car is a very newer model with an ECU that's very cautious of power. If you start pulling electric off of a car with a reverse camera directly off the cable, sometimes when you first do it, you'll have this weird thing where you first go for reverse, the camera will work, and then it will never work again. The reason for that is the first time you do it, the voltage is above 12 and it's nice and strong. When the ECU gets into its engine running and it's kind of been on for like 5 minutes, the voltage is lowered by the ECU, and your voltage for the reverse light signal will become like 9 volts, and then the camera won't work, and it's because you need to add a relay. So if that ever happens, reverse trigger only works once, you need to add a relay for your reverse camera. So you would then put these to a relay. So the relay obviously triggered off the reverse light, it will then come off of a battery feed, which will then give your trigger a nice true 12 volts. But normally on an older car, earth, live, for the camera, that will go directly to the reverse light. So this end, reverse light. Then what we also have is this. One red lead on each end and a phono each end. What we would tend to do is in the back of the car, or how I do it, the phono is going to extend this picture down to the front of our screen in the car, right? But also it contains a reverse trigger. Now some cars, when you add in a specified lead, they have the purple wire coming out the quad or the ISO or whatever CAN bus decoder you have. There sometimes there's a reverse trigger. If there isn't one and you want to activate the reverse signal, what you do is at the back of the car, obviously where we're doing our camera, you basically plumb in this little red lead here into the little red lead on this one, which is then going to go to our reverse light feed. So the reverse light powers up, it will give the camera power, but it will also send a trigger all the way down our line to the very front of the car, and this will be our 12 volt reverse feed. So when you plug this into the back of the unit where it says camera input or reverse cam or RCam, you then use this little red wire here to go to the purple and white on your head unit, and then as you select reverse at the back, the light will come on, the camera will be activated, the trigger, as in the red wire, is in sequence, that feeds all the way down to the head unit, that tells the purple wire to look for the reverse camera, that supplies the picture. It's as simple as that. Hope that made sense. Well, there we go. 12 o'clock, finished, going home, gonna get a few hours sleep in, grab Neil, and tomorrow, Castle Combe. So we're gonna charge the GoPros, do some filming tomorrow, and I will see you then. Now it's freezing. Well, it's not, it's lush, but you know what I mean, it's cold. Thanks for watching, guys. See you tomorrow.